Hey there folks, Champesk here bringing another audio commentary, and today it's going to be a 2 versus 2 between Thorzain and Effect of, sorry, this is, I need to slow this one down, I think Rain and Hasu, i.e. Hasu Obs, and so it's going to be Elf Undead, which is obviously a very common 2 versus 2 combo, against a human, and human is known really well for doing some impressive tower pushes. Certainly when Sky and Infi play in 2 versus 2, they always tower rush, and it's generally some pretty fun games. And so hopefully we'll be seeing some interesting stuff here. And a couple announcements to start things out. Firstly, where should I start? I think I'll go in terms of decreasing sort of sociopathy. So we can start out with really sort of some menial announcements, just while we have some time, yes. Firstly, just a comment for general YouTube sanity is that videos do take a little while to render, and so they don't immediately show up in high quality. So pretty much every video I've ever uploaded, someone has complained that the quality isn't as good as it can be, and it does get better over time. So and most people seem to know this, but there's always one person who comments and who says something like, "Why isn't this in high quality?" or like, "You've done something wrong," and I generally have to delete that if I can be bothered. Otherwise, someone else corrects them, for which I'm obviously grateful. But we are seeing two archmages here actually, and it looks like they're both going to be going for that really tricky creep, which is a bit surprising because you think that this Death Knight could go harass, but maybe because he's going for that early graveyard, his Death Knight's going to be a bit too late. Yeah, I guess that is going to be the case, and it looks like it might be the same thing here, although obviously the Demon Hunter will probably be out a bit early. Actually, it might be a Priestess of the Moon, I haven't checked. No, it is a Demon Hunter, and it looks like Thorzain will manage to creep out most of this camp pretty much unhindered. Other notices that I have, oh yeah, actually I've noticed recently that a lot of the both Warcraft 3 and StarCraft commentators have recently been asking for money, and that's not something I'm going to do, just because I think that the money could go in a better place. And what I'd rather happen, I think, would be if you enjoy my commentaries, and I certainly hope that you do, if perhaps you could give a small amount of money to charity. I think BlizzShout was recently asking for about $3, and I think something like that would be fine. If you want to give just some money to a charity, really of your choice. If you want to do it, if you want me to choose, then I'd recommend WaterAid or Cancer Research UK, but obviously that's a British charity. Really doesn't matter what charity you pick, but I think any charity would be obviously better than no charity, and I think it's sort of not a huge price to pay. Certainly a couple dollars, a couple pounds, a couple euros, depending on where you live, certainly can go a long way, considering I have, I think, over 900 subscribers now. I'm sure that most of you won't give money, in fact, but I'm sure a select good few of you will. And ooh, bit of surround here? No surround. And so if we do get back to the game here, hopefully you will take that to heart though, and I might remind you later. I'll see if anyone actually comments on being interested. I know a couple people have at least said they'll donate in my name. I have no way of checking, but I don't know why they would lie. They're not getting anything out of it. But we have been seeing some early game creeping from the humans here, picking up a Boots of Colossal Loss. That's really unfortunate for Thorzain, and Effect picking up a Flute of Accuracy, not particularly good, but a nice surround there actually, and Hasu losing his first Fiend, a pretty bad mistake there. I'm not sure if that was his first Fiend. It was either his first or his second, but certainly it's a big mistake there, and Hasu almost finishing his tech now, and we are seeing a bit of pressure here from Hasu, but still at level 1. He has managed to kill off a bunch of or a couple units at least, but obviously with Fiends and actually having lost one as well, it means that he has taken a fair bit of damage, and we haven't yet seen a tech, and we are actually seeing oh, actually Thorzain has a idle worker there. He really, or actually, has a couple idle workers here. I guess he's busy focused on this, but we are seeing techs, I think, from both humans. Yeah, from all 4 races, we are seeing techs, and we're actually seeing a bit of pressure here from Effect, but it's not going to come to anything. He is level 3 though, so level 2 water elementals are pretty nice against those acolytes, and it looks like I think it's Rain's harassment wasn't too brilliant. He didn't really manage to get anything done because he is still level 1. So Raptor really with that experience advantage at this point, but obviously Elf Undead sort of don't start to shine until you really get a whole bunch of units. And since we are seeing a tech from Rain, we aren't seeing the standard cheese of Mass Huntresses along with fiends, and priestess of the moon. But instead, it looks like we're going to see dryads, which is a pretty nice combo. Although it does mean you're entirely reliant on piercing damage, which is less than ideal. And it's quite interesting that we actually we're seeing 2 archmages here. It's what most human combos go for. Although I'm not a huge fan of it, because you waste basically that brilliance aura, and having brilliance aura on a mountain king or something is just so good, especially at especially if you can be sort of level 1 mountain king, and then it really does help supplement your mana regeneration. But meanwhile, Effect's actually taking a lot of damage on his Archmage, but Thorzain hasn't taken much on his, and it looks like we are seeing a bit of a push here from the 2 humans, maybe trying to do a bit of harassment. It's a good timing push, because I think Tier 2 will have just finished now, and yeah, you can see these Ancient of Lords are now going up. But meanwhile, it turns out that Hasu was really around, and so he has managed to do a fair bit of damage and forced Effect to TP out, and looks like Rain will stick around a bit, and Hasu has one really low fiend here, but looks like he will manage to survive. And a Panda being picked up second for Rain, going for that Breath of Fire, and Thorzain TP's out with 10 hit points left, and so some really close play here, and really, despite that experience advantage, not managing to capitalize on it. And we are seeing a Blood Mage second for Thorzain, and Tier 2 just finishing, and a Mountain King second for Effect. So finally some divergence in their heroes here, and I think actually Infi and Sky used to occasionally play double Mountain King, and that was just insane, because obviously Bolt has a 9-second cool. Ooh, I'm telling experience there. Bolt has a 9-second cooldown and a 5-second stun effect, so you can basically, as long as you have mana, you can permanently stun a hero, and that is just so much fun. It's just so dangerous, and especially in 2s, you can really have a lot of fun with Mountain Kings, I think, because there's always a hero about to kill, and especially at low levels where your opponent's unlikely to have a huge army to supplement their hero. And well, let's take a look at the tech we're seeing from humans now. We are seeing a Arcane Sanctum, a Blacksmith from Thorzain. His Blood Mage is now out, and an Arcane Sanctum, and 2 Arcane Sanctums from Effect. So maybe we're going to be seeing a tower push from Thorzain, I'm not sure, and supplemented by a lot of casters, although he doesn't have a lumber mill, whereas Effect does, so I'm not sure. It seems like he's going to have a lot more spare units than Effect. We'll have to see what his strategy is. But meanwhile, we are seeing the first Dryad is now out for Rain, and he is actually supplementing this with a couple Archers and 1 Huntress, and then we are seeing Hasu with obviously his Fiends, and he'll probably continue to pump Fiends, probably tech to tier, oh actually he's already tech to tier, so we get very fast tier 3 tech, and his Slaughterhouse is producing a statue now. But it looks like we are seeing a bit of a battle here. This is a good time for Effect Effect and Thorzain to attack, because they do have their heroes are just out, and this Bolt is going to take out this one Fiend, and obviously sort of, if you are going to attack, as soon as your hero pops out is a good time to do it, just because it's going to be a long time before you get sort of an improvement in your Bolt and your Blood Mage effects. And I think he's gone for Siphon Mana first, which is going to be nice just to supplement the mana on all his heroes and drain mana, especially from the Panda and the Death Knight. Death Knight dangerously close to 3, and does have a Subway Mask as well, and those are going to be very important items. That's going to be a very important item, and then especially in combination with level 2 Death Coil if you can get it, and Staff being used on that Panda that had been surrounded, and you can see that Panda will need to heal up and try and get out of there. And actually this is not looking too good for moves at this point. The Lich is now coming in, has bought an orb. He was sticking around his base a bit just to get that orb, but towers are now coming up, as well as these first casters are in here for Raptor and for Thorzain and Effect. Sorry, I keep on forgetting they're not in the they're not on the same team, and I think I have been referring to them as Raptor a bit. I apologise. And we are seeing a continuation of this attack. Obviously, these Archmages are going to be so much less useful now, just because these Water Elementals can be dispelled for free experience as long as there's mana on the Dryads. Obviously, there won't always be much mana on them, because the Dryads have pretty low mana regeneration rates. But still, actually, this push being pushed back, or sorry, this push being pushed back quite effectively now, and this Mountain King and Archmage sort of in a bit of trouble here. But it looks like even against this Unholy Aura, they will manage to get away, because those Dryads were a bit too far back. And the first Destroyer out now for Hasu, and Hasu's such a good player, really managing to make the most of his economy, and those really early Destroyers are going to cause a huge amount of damage to the humans, because it's going to make those those Archmage even less useful. And it looks like this one Sork might be picked off as well, and actually this Breaker getting a bit trapped, and hopefully he'll manage to get away. You hate to see the units being lost stupidly like this, but it looks like that breaker will go down, but at least he's not leading this team right into his base quite yet, and one arcane tower should help somewhat to keeping this army away, because you don't want to lose your mana on any of these heroes here. And this push looks like this is going to take down a couple of these satellite buildings, and then might have to get out of there, just because when militia are called, this could be quite a bad fight for Rain and Hasu. And looks like Effect just has his couple units around, and meanwhile a very large army now coming in for Thorzain, bringing in a bunch of militia as well, and we will need to see Rain and Hasu beat a very hasty retreat, which is exactly what they're doing. Very nice timing as well, because it means that all that militia timing is been completely wasted. Thorzain actually continuing to bring in his militia. Clearly he expects a fight, and we might actually see one now, because Hasu is going to stick around. I'm not sure if Rain is sticking around as well, and actually, I wonder if this is a country-based war. Sorry, I don't mean to go on a huge tangent, but these are both German players, and Thorzain and Effect are both Swedish, I believe. So maybe it's a country-based war. So I'm not sure what game this is from, or what league this is from. But